Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talking Reps.
Whoa.
Episode,
Who knows?
I don't know. None.
Who knows
I don't know
what
what it
episode
is,
it is,
but
actually.
it is the last one for the year. Isn't that crazy?
This is the end of season 2.
Yeah, it is. Oh my goodness, that's a little crazy to think about. But it is. The end of season 2. We've been doing this for 2 years. Super crazy. So, but we're excited to be here.
Yeah, we're very excited, and it's very fun, and we've had a great time, and it's been enjoyable, and I hope you all have had a good time with us as well. So,
with our shenanigans and all of our thoughts
and shenanigans.
Very much shenanigans.
We've been sponsored this entire year, and maybe not the entire last year, maybe just this year. I think this is the first year of our sponsorship with Liquid Death. I think.
I mean, it's our own in our brains. Yes.
Yeah.
In our brains.
But this episode,
oh no.
We are sponsored by
Oh, I should have had my thing.
Topo Chico. The refreshing drink.
The what?
The refreshing drink from south of the border. Top Dude, I think is what it stands for. Oh, here. Clink. So we're sponsored by Topo Chico this episode, the last episode of 2023 of season 2.
That's right.
Holy crap.
It's going to be so good.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe next year we do 1 episode a day and we try to break Joe Rogan and Best Hours record of how many episodes they have.
Oh my goodness. I can't even know how much things to say. I can barely do
I
things.
can talk for...
I know, Randy could talk forever. But anyways, let's talk about what we're going to be talking about today.
So...
we're not talking about Topo Chico.
We're not talking about Topo Chico.
Even though we do love it very much.
We're
not talking about
Topo Chico.
Needing glasses. We were talking about that right before we turned on.
We were talking about how Chas needs bifocals.
I don't want bifocals.
She needs readers.
I do need to, I really can't see things on my phone or like writing things. My handwriting has gotten horrendous because I really can't see what I'm writing. So I'm just like guessing. I'm like, oh, that's probably close of what it is. So that's going to be fine. So if I text you,
close at all.
If I text you and it's a little off, it's probably because I can't see what I'm texting. And I feel like, oh, that's it. That's right. That's going to be it.
That makes sense.
I'm going to send it on. And
it is not that way.
Sometimes it's not.
Most of your texts you send me are perfect.
So see, I do a really good job with it.
But we only talk in emojis.
Maybe that's it.
So.
Maybe that's how I need to just have all of my texting with anybody is only through emojis and see if people can figure out what I'm trying to say.
I feel like
that's what I'm going to do for the 2024. I am never going to have any words. It's only going to be emojis.
I feel like that's where the world is going to go. Is people are just going to talk in emojis.
I mean, maybe we could be the first people to start that trend.
I feel like we already have.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Okay, we've already started it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I feel like that's what it's going to be. It's the wingdings. Remember the old computer?
The what?
Remember the old computer font where
wingdings? I've never even heard that word.
Where you would type in a word, but it would be like symbols, football, car, flower, dog. But it would be like the word you typed. Wingdings.
I've never heard of wingdings.
Oh yeah, someone on here has heard of wingdings. I think
shut up, Cam. We're going to be the first.
Yeah.
Not the Egyptians.
Yeah, not the Egyptians.
I mean, I guess they did have drawings.
They were called hieroglyphics.
Hieroglyphics. Something like that.
So today, we were going to talk about, give a little update on Chas's recovery. We were going to talk about, her awesome neck scar.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting really good.
She's how far past surgery are you?
I think I'm 2 months.
2 months past surgery. 8 weeks. 60 days, maybe.
Somewhere around there. I haven't really been counting.
2,880 hours.
You just did that in your head really fast?
I don't even know if it's right.
Huh. Someone's going to do the math right now and be like, you're totally off. You are definitely wrong.
But 2 months past her disc replacement surgery.
Yeah.
And we are, what, 3 weeks into your rehab and recovering schedule?
Yes.
Recovery schedule?
I mean, I was doing some stuff before that, before
Right.
we actually like had like a plan
Set forth by the doctor in conjunction with me.
Yeah.
I'm basically like a doctor.
You're not. He's not a doctor. He's not. But he did make a beautiful laminated sheet for me. So tell me the things that I can do, the things that I cannot do.
And then I find her in the back corner doing squats. I thought I could do squats.
I didn't do squats.
I thought I could do.
I did do air squats. I mean, I can do. Oh my gosh, I haven't done any of that stuff. But I did do a few things that I didn't realize just because I didn't. The words that he told me, I thought were different words, or they meant something else. And I was kind of right, but I was kind of not.
She thought don't do squats meant I can do some squats.
No, it's not that. Anyways, but there's a plan, and I have my x-ray at the beginning of January. So that's it's a little bit before my 3-month mark. So we'll have that done and see that, and then we can move forward and see if I just get clear and I can do all the things that I just want to do.
Exactly.
Well, kind of. I mean, it will say that depending on like, okay, we need to follow this protocol for the next whatever, or it's like everything looks great and go back into normal life, which it won't be normal life yet because I'm not there anymore. So it's going to take some time for me to build back up into where I was at before. So that's going to take some time, and that's totally fine. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. But I think the most important thing is realizing that it will take time. Yeah. And it's good to have a doctor that tells you, that understands what we do, and your doctor, both of your doctors understand what we do, and one of them understands more what CrossFit is.
Yes.
And so they know that the plan for you moving forward is to get you back to moving and lifting and being productive and being able to continue to run and operate this gym behind us and do all the things that are involved in that. And so they know that the plan that they've created, I basically created for the doctor. I mean, let's be honest, that the plan that the doctor gave us is to help get you back and get you stronger, or get your strength back and
do all the things I like to do.
Yep. And keep your livelihood moving forward.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to give a little update about that, but also talk about the importance of spending time recovering if you do happen to get injured, but also, and that's the same for any sport or any type of lifting or exercise. But also how important movement is during recovery. Just sitting down and not doing anything because you are sad that you can't do squats, or you can't do runs, or you can't do, cycling or whatever it is that you people do, you other people do. Understanding that that road to recovery is important. And without it, you don't give yourself the opportunity to build back up what you need to strengthen, re-strengthen, so you can heal and move on with your life.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, I think I've had in a plan, or like the things of what that were important to me a little while ago, like beginning of the year of 2017 and before, was a totally different plan and things of what I wanted to do and where I thought that I wanted to go and why I came into the gym and why I did that. And things kind of had a stop at that point at the end of 2017 for me, and had me a huge, what's the right word? Perspective, a different perspective on what I do here, why I come in here, and where I want to take this gym forward, and what our values and our mission statement and vision of what we want to have our community and really push for that kind of changed at that point in time. And it was a lot because of just where my life was. and things had to change, and realizing that I want to come in here to the gym to do things that are always going to make me going forward to move for the rest of my life. I always want to do that. I know we talk about that a lot, but it's such a huge reason of why we do here, and me coming into the gym and with this surgery going into that and really having the insight and the perspective of like, yeah, right now I can't do any sort of weight on me. So there's not going to be squatting. I'm not doing cleans. I'm not doing really any pressing overhead movement right now, because I found out that that's what axial loading is. I actually, well, and I was kind of right. Some of it is just like, I thought it was literally physically weight on me, but like just holding a dumbbell or weight overhead is still compressing and loading my spine. And until I have my x-ray, I shouldn't be doing that. So I have changed things quite a bit in here. And Dr. Erin Montgomery has given me some suggestions. That was my little thing with my finger. Yeah. Had some other suggestions of things that I can add in, which has been really great. It's been a really good, going into this or coming out of this surgery, I really wanted to focus on some of those bad habits that I've added. I didn't really add it. I just kind of started it. I don't know how to say that. But anyways, I have bad habits with certain things, with movements, and you can still do things with bad habits and still move and still look pretty okay. But there's things, muscle groups that were weaker that I kind of just took other muscle groups kind of took over. And so this was really a good opportunity for me to be like, okay, I'm really going to take a step back with all of my movement, my exercise, and the things that I'm doing in here, and focus on my core strength. Not that it's horrible, but it's definitely not good.
I mean, it's piss poor, to be completely honest.
It's not piss poor. I worked on it a lot when I came in from my thing.
On this show.
Piss? You said piss.
Stop it.
Anyways, I don't even remember what I was saying now.
Your core strength.
I was really on a path, I felt like, but maybe I wasn't.
Your core strength.
Yeah, but I forgot what I
increasing it and building upon it to help.
But things like that I had some bad things of why, like, okay, I don't always like brace my core correctly, and getting that a little bit stronger. I know that I have some weaknesses in my hips and stuff like that. So building those things now, that while I'm squatting, I'm using our hip halo and squatting with those, and using a lot of bands. I use our crossover symmetry for all of my upper body stuff, which is really going to help support my shoulders for everything else when I go back to stuff going overhead. And that's stuff that I want to just continually do. So that's kind of what I'm taking from this surgery of coming back in, is really just taking a huge step back with everything and slowly building those things up, and making sure that I'm moving well. Not that I wasn't moving well before, but I'm going to move even better, because I'm taking the time to work on those things that I know that I needed to do. So I can still come in, I can still do stuff. It looks a little bit different than everyone else, but I can still do the same stuff. I'm still in here working out with everyone, and using the same muscle groups that they are using. I'm just using it a little bit different.
And you still get a really good workout.
Yeah, I still get super sweaty. And it's really going to get bad once I can actually
you got really sweaty with the overhead squats with the PVC pipe.
Oh my gosh, I was dying. One of those little leg things.
Yeah.
It was hard, but it was great. It was good. Really working on some positioning. So it was great.
It's funny. So I was listening to the Khalipa podcast last night, and he was talking about, they were talking about injury actually, and the road to recovery. And so him and, what's his name?
Well, it's either Gabe or MVD.
I think it was MVD.
I don't know.
MVD.
MVD.
They were talking about
Matt Villadella or something like that.
Yeah. They were talking about the importance of recovery and the importance of doing things like PT, physical therapy, on the road to recovery. But they were also saying that it's funny how, let's just say you herniate a disc or throw out your back, and but you have PT, you have physical therapy, you have strengthening exercises to strengthen the systems around that disc, to bring back stability, to bring back movement, range of motion, all of that. And you're doing these specific exercises. Now, when I say that, I mean like therapy exercises, band work, crossover symmetry, hip extension, stuff like that. You start feeling better, and then you stop.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh man, it's great. It's better. Well, back to stiff-legged deadlifts.
Yep, I've done that all.
Back
I've
to
done that
3 rep
multiple
max good
times,
mornings.
actually. Multiple times.
Instead of keeping those PT practices and keeping that momentum of recovery. But just because you're not injured doesn't mean you're not needing recovery or therapy. It should be part of a lot of what we do in the work that we do inside this gym, the work that everybody does that we're building them up to be able to do outside of the gym. Those soft tissue work, that movement, the stuff we do in our cool downs, that should be a part of everybody's routine moving forward. And that's why we try to preach that in here after every workout. But yeah, it's funny because it happens. I do it. I've done it.
Multiple
swore,
times.
I'm going to point at it. I swore the crossover symmetry thing was the best thing that ever was invented. And it is. But as soon as my shoulder felt better, I don't do it. I haven't touched it in a year. That should be something that I do a few minutes every day and dedicate time to do that, to make sure that everything's working and strong and strengthened and moving in the correct position. And I don't do it. So
that is my goal coming back off of this surgery. That is one of my hugest things, is that just to keep doing those same things, getting on the crossover symmetry, doing my movement prep, focusing on some of those things and just adding it into that. And I might start changing some of the movements during the exercises. Even if I could do it, maybe I'm going to change it a little bit, just because I want to make sure that I'm still working on those certain things of doing that. Because it is important. It's super, super, super important. And if we're not going to be doing it on the outside, maybe then that's where I'm going to start getting it. But I really want to start focusing and doing it a little bit before, a little bit after, and adding some of those other things that I need to really start working on, keeping my spine more aligned of things, and being more cautious of when I'm taking overhead, that I'm not like jutting my head through, that it just needs to be my ear by my bicep, and just keeping everything in line and not like overextending any of that stuff, which will put a lot of pressure on my spine and neck that I shouldn't be doing. And my low back. Very true. So some of that stuff, and just really getting stronger on the movements, especially going into like pull-ups and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm going to be doing kipping too much. I'll do some because I think it's very good for your shoulder stability and being able to hold that position in that strong position, even your core. But I also really want to focus a lot more on my strict movements and getting those before I really adding a lot of kipping movement in for myself. I know that it's going to make me better for the long haul, and it's going to make my body feel better for the long haul. And that's what my goal is in here, is that I am moving when I'm 80s, when I'm 90s, that I can play with hopefully grandkids.
We got to find some grandkids.
I'm going to steal some grandkids.
Dave, we're coming for your grandkids.
So that, or even like just wanting, like when we're older and, wanting to go on a hike, I don't want to have to ever say no to something. So
yeah.
We want to go camping and hiking and rafting. Maybe we've never done that before, but I think that would be fun. And I want to be able to feel like I don't want to ever do skydiving. I don't ever want to do bungee jumping or anything rappelling. I don't know if I could do that. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't know if my body
mentally can't do it.
My body, I think, physically like stops me.
It's not your body, Chief.
Yes, Cam. I get to be grandparents for your 3. But anyways, I don't want to ever like look at that and be like, well, I can't do that because of strength wise, or I can't move, or because I'm, feel like I'm going to hurt myself. And so that is where my whole goal is every single time that I come into this gym, that maybe if I start getting frustrated with myself because of something I used to be able to do, or I used to be there, I'm in a totally different spot in my life. I'm not in my 30s when I started doing CrossFit.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not. When did I start CrossFit? I don't
in your
even.
30s.
I was in my 30s. Okay, I was right.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a totally different space, and I'm totally okay with that as well. I'm like, it's all right.
But
and
at the
it's good,
same
and I still
time,
get to do all the fun things.
But at the same time, that doesn't mean that your life inside this gym is over. And I'm not talking about working, and I'm not talking about coaching, and I'm not even talking about working out. I'm talking about the side that you really love, which is a competitive side.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that that's over. This right now, what we're going through, does not mean that that is over. What this means is you have to focus on what you need to focus now. And who knows, with the proper focus and movement and strength training and therapy and listening to your body, which you are not the best at. I'm not the best at either, but you're way worse than I am.
What?
Spending time and listening to your body and resting when you need to and not pushing through things will get you back to a level of where I know you want to go, which is a little bit back to that competitive side because you loved it so much.
Yeah, and I know I will. I know that I will compete again at the level that I like to compete at, which is a fun competitive, like to just have fun competitive.
So like against me when you beat me every single time?
I'll get back to there. Yeah, definitely. But actually, like local competitions, I love doing those, and I plan on doing those again.
Well, let's put it this way. You almost qualified last year with a busted disc and all kinds of strength problems in your arm when we went through the open last year.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did I didn't get to do it. I got to the qualifiers, but I couldn't do it because of my neck, but it's fine. But I mean, I love doing those things. I'll still do the open. I'll still do those things, and because it's fun. I think it's fun. But I also, when I start getting frustrated with myself, that's what I always go back to. And I think it's because it's hard to be. It's easy. It's not hard. It's easy to be really hard on yourself of where you used to be.
Yeah.
It's really hard sometimes.
It's very hard.
And I think that,
or it's very easy to be hard on yourself.
Yeah, it's easy. And it's, and all of us, I feel like all of us at some point in time, and we might have it again as well, have experienced that. And, and it might happen again. But I know also that if you have the right mindset going into it, that you can do the things, and just keeping reminding yourself of
this is now.
all the this is now
forever.
like where you're at this point and now, and the things that you're going to work to get to those other things. And then truly, I think a lot of it is truly like sitting down and having that hard conversation to yourself or with yourself of, what do you want to, why do you come in here? What are your goals? Is it to get back to like my 30s when I was really strong and hitting all of this stuff with my back squats? I don't really care, especially with back squats, if I ever get to that point again. For me, at that point, I know that I've gotten over that point with, at least with squatting. Like I want to have a heavy load on, something that feels heavy, where I don't really need to have a belt on. What are you looking at?
You never have to have a belt on.
I know that, but where I feel like I have to, there's points when you kind of feel like, maybe I should have a belt on, but I don't. I want to, when I come in, I want to be able to have like a heavy load for me. And it might be a heavy load for me for that day. Each day is different. And realizing that and have a little bit more grace with yourself with those things, and making sure that you get some heavy load every once in a while on your body. I think that's super important, especially as we age. Our bones need it. It is a necessary thing for our body as we age, is to kill and also to keep moving as we age through that. And just make sure you're moving. It's so important. Just movement, coming in and moving is such an important thing. And even just if like you're feeling on those days where you're just like, well, I can't do this or I can't do that. I can't do that workout or whatever it is. There's always something that we can change in here. As our team, our coaching team will do that. Like we'll change things for you. Even if you're just having that day and you want to just need to be around people and want to sit on the bike or something like that, just come in and be around the people that you know love you and support you. And sometimes we just need something like that too. And having with grace with ourselves of where we're at and per day, I think too, is important.
Yeah.
What do you keep looking at over there?
I'm listening to you.
Oh, it looks like you're looking at something. There's something happening over there, and there's no one here except for us.
I'm just listening.
Okay.
You've talked for 26
I know.
minutes.
I talked for a long time. I didn't. 26.
Yeah.
No, you were talking too. So
What are
your thoughts, Randy, since I had all of the conversation apparently?
I agree with everything you said.
Do you have more insight?
I have all kinds of insight,
Oh,
but I would say
the insight.
I would say it's just the last little bit you kind of touched on is the importance of movement. Even when you are frustrated, even when you feel like you can't do anything, you can do all kinds of things. Even when you're battling an injury or you're in recovery, you can still do things. You have to allow yourself to come in and be vulnerable and find out what those new or other things are that you can do. And that's difficult. That's the hardest part. The hardest part is sitting back with your ego on your shoulder and being like, well, everybody else is doing overhead squats and I can't have 0 axial loading. So I have to sit over here on the bike and I feel like an idiot. Tough shit. We're all idiots. Who cares? Do something. Move. It's way better to move than to not, especially in recovery. Obviously, that depends on what you're recovering from. But don't give up on yourself. Allow yourself, like she said, that grace, but also allow yourself to turn your ego off for a minute and get the benefit of just coming in and being a part of this group, being a part of whatever group you're a part of, and moving through your day instead of sitting on the couch.
Yeah, and also like
whining.
Yes, very true. No whining. I also think that it's also important to have those days to come in with where you're just moving, where you're not always on and always pushing and always doing that. Your body needs that time to recover. Just even if you aren't coming from an injury or a surgery or anything like that, your body just in general, per week needs to have that just coming and moving day, like a active recovery day, where you're coming in, you're just working through a moderate pace and just getting that body moving, especially when you're sore. When you're sore and you feel like you can't do anything and you can't move, that is the most important time to come in and move and do your active recovery. And that's just coming in and it's like, okay, we're on just a move day. And that's great because we all need that. And that is how our body builds.
That was me yesterday.
You come down here, yeah, and that was you yesterday.
That was me yesterday with an empty barbell and a consistent pace and not a pushing pace. The workout was overhead squats, so empty barbell overhead squats. You had
toes to bar?
Yep, toes to bar and double unders, and it was just a consistently moving pace. I don't even know what my heart rate got to. It was like 140, 148, something like that. So
yeah, it's super important. Those days are very, very important. It's way better to do coming in and do something like that than stay at home.
Yeah.
And be like, well, I'm going to have a rest day today. We do need rest days, but we also need those active recovery days as well.
We need
active
more
rest days.
Moving days than not.
Especially with what we do. I would say the majority of us in our gym, coming in almost every day is and moving, even if it's like a couple active recovery days within there, it's super important is to coming in. Our body needs to move daily with this stuff. So
yeah, I agree. And with our goal of having everybody, like you said, move into their 90s, start now. We have nope, we're not 30.
We're
We have
not.
50 years.
No, we're not. I'm 47.
We have 50. Whoa. You have
I'm almost
40,
50. I'm
you have
almost
40,
50.
You have 43 years.
Next year, I'm going to be 48.
Yeah.
I'm going to that next level of the open. I'm right in the middle though right now. So
you have
now I'm in the middle of it.
40 plus years left of moving. So that way you have a more awesomer opportunity to live an active and fulfilling life.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
That's what we're
I'm
working
doing
on
right now.
Now. It's like retirement.
It is.
It's like retirement. When you're 20 years old and you start a job and they're like, oh, put $100 away a month. You won't even notice it. Fuck you. Of course I'll notice it. I'm going to notice not having $100 worth of beer money and smokes when I'm 20. I notice that. But if I would have done that instead of what I did do, I would be so many more years ahead to be able to afford whatever lifestyle I wanted to live up into my 90s.
Yeah.
I'm a few years off, but
I'm way off, actually.
No, you're not, because you have mine. You don't have to do anything. You get mine. But what I'm saying is it's similar to that. We have to do things now so we can plan for the future. And movement is just as important
as anything else.
It could be.
It could be actually even more.
You could have $10 million in your bank when you retire, but if you can't move, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I would say that that's even more important than
$10 million is less important than, I don't know.
No,
I could buy someone. I could
did
literally
I say
buy.
It wrong?
No, you said it right. I'm saying I could buy someone with 10 million to move me.
Do you know how sucky that would be to just like sit in
your
chair,
you had to think
like
about
sit in your chair, and someone is just like, move my arm. I need to say hi. Can you brush my hair? And like, I need you to stand me up and move my legs. Like, that would be so horrible. I mean, that would be so horrible. So I definitely.
If I was rich, I'd be like the bad guy in 300, where he had just a bunch of people carrying him around on a big chair.
Oh my gosh.
Everywhere I went.
I would hate that. I'd be not happy about any of that.
Take me to the coffee shop.
Super annoyed. But anyways, I would say that is even more important than
I agree.
All of that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I very much agree.
Completely.
So with that being said, move your asses.
Yes.
Even when you don't want to, even when everybody tells you shouldn't, even when your doctor says,
you shouldn't do CrossFit anymore. Find a new doctor.
Find a new doctor, and then continue to move anyways. But move wisely and move smartly. Don't do anything stupid just because you feel like, well, I just had spinal cord surgery, so I feel like I should go do some squats. Don't do that. I just had my disc replaced, so I'm going to go do some headstands. Don't do that. Be smart about it. Talk to people who you trust. Talk to your doctor. Talk to your physical therapist. Talk to your coaches. We'll help you. Obviously around the parameters that your doctor has set forth for you, and we'll walk with you on this path.
Yeah.
So you can keep walking on your path when you're retired with $10 million.
And that you can use that money.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's important.
Yeah.
All right. 2023.
2023 is out. And we are going to be back at next month with episode 1, season 3 of Talking Reps. I hope it's going to be awesome.
It will be.
All right, guys. Peace out.